They wanted me dead by Christmas, my own family. And the crazy part? I almost let it happen. I'm 65 years old. My name is Frank Morrison, and I'm a United States Army veteran. 30 years ago, I took shrapnel in my left leg during Desert Storm, lost most of the feeling below my knee, gained a limp I'll carry to my grave. These days, I work part-time at Henderson's Hardware on Route 9, stocking shelves when my leg cooperates, sitting on a stool by the register when it doesn't. The pay is nothing to write home about. $9 an hour, 20 hours a week if I'm lucky. For 32 years, I've been married to a woman named Patricia Morrison. We live in a small ranch house in Riverside, Pennsylvania, one of those forgotten Rust Belt towns where the steel mill closed in '94 and never came back. Our house is paid off, but that's about the only thing going for us financially. The roof leaks when it rains hard. The furnace coughs like a dying man every winter. Our car is a 2004 Honda Civic with 187,000 miles on it. We have 3 kids. Michael is 38, our oldest. He manages a cell phone store in Pittsburgh, makes decent money, drives a new Lexus. Then there are the twins, Jennifer and Amanda, 35 years old. Jennifer married a dentist, lives in a McMansion in the suburbs. Amanda works in pharmaceutical sales, pulls in 6 figures, takes vacations to Cancun twice a year. None of them call unless they need something. None of them visit unless it's a major holiday, and even then it's begrudging. I can see it in their eyes when they walk through our door. That flash of embarrassment, maybe even disgust. This is where Dad lives. This is what he became. Because I'm not a rich father. I'm not successful. I'm not the kind of dad they can brag about at cocktail parties. I'm just Frank Morrison. Wounded veteran, hardware store employee, the man who couldn't provide. Patricia reminds me of this almost daily. Not always with words. Sometimes it's just a look, a sigh. The way she turns away when I try to kiss her goodnight. We haven't slept in the same bed in 4 years. She took over the master bedroom. I sleep on a pull-out couch in what used to be Michael's room. "You're not a real man anymore, Frank," she told me once, 3 years ago, after a few glasses of wine. "Real men take care of their families. Real men don't limp around a hardware store making minimum wage." I should have left her then. But where would I go? And honestly, after hearing it enough times, you start to believe it. Maybe she's right. Maybe I am a failure. But then everything changed. October 17th, 2024, a Thursday. I stopped at a gas station on my way home from work, bought a Powerball ticket like I do every week. 1 ticket, $5. My little ritual of hope in a hopeless life. On Saturday night, I checked the numbers on my phone while Patricia watched some reality show in the other room. 6, 14, 27, 35, 41, Powerball, 18. I had to check 3 times. Then I went to the official Powerball website and checked again. $4 million. After taxes, it would be roughly $2.8 million. Still more money than I'd see in 10 lifetimes of working at Henderson's Hardware. I sat there on that pull-out couch, staring at my phone, my heart hammering so hard I thought I might have a heart attack right there. My hands were shaking. For the first time in decades, I felt something I'd almost forgotten. Hope. This is it, I thought. This is where everything turns around. This is where I finally get to breathe. I was so incredibly, stupidly wrong. I told Patricia the next morning, Sunday. She was making coffee in the kitchen, still in her bathrobe, her hair a mess. I walked in with the ticket in my hand. "Patricia," I said, "I need to tell you something." She didn't even look at me. "What is it now, Frank?" "I won the lottery." She turned around slowly, coffee mug halfway to her lips. "What did you just say?" "Powerball. I won. $4 million. The mug slipped from her hand, shattered on the tile floor. Coffee everywhere. She didn't even notice. She just stared at me, her mouth open, eyes wide. Then she screamed, actually screamed, a sound of pure joy, pure shock. She ran to me, something she hadn't done in years, and threw her arms around me. Oh my God, Frank, we're rich. We're actually rich." She was crying, laughing, kissing my face. For about 5 minutes, I felt like I had my wife back. Like the woman I'd married all those years ago. The woman who'd promised to love me in sickness and health, for richer or poorer, had finally returned. Those 5 minutes were the last truly happy moments of my life. Within a week, everything changed. Patricia wanted to call the kids immediately, wanted to tell everyone we knew. I asked her to wait. I wanted to talk to a financial advisor first, figure out the smart way to handle this money. I'd read articles about lottery winners going broke within a few years. I didn't want to be one of those cautionary tales. She agreed, reluctantly, but she started changing almost immediately. Little things at first. She bought new clothes, expensive clothes. She started going to a salon instead of cutting her hair at home. She bought a new phone, a new laptop, a new TV for the bedroom. "We can afford it now, Frank," she said when I questioned her. "What's the point of having money if we can't enjoy it?" Then she started talking about the house. We should sell it, buy something bigger, something in a better neighborhood, maybe even move closer to the kids in Pittsburgh. "I don't want to leave Riverside," I said. "This is our home." Her face hardened. "This isn't a home, Frank. It's a shack. It's embarrassing. I've been embarrassed for 30 years, and now we finally have a chance to live like normal people." Normal people. As if we'd been something less than human all this time. Then came the conversation I'll never forget. 3 weeks after we'd won. We were sitting at the kitchen table. She'd made dinner, actually cooked, something she rarely did anymore. Pot roast, mashed potatoes. It reminded me of the old days, when things were good between us. "Frank," she said, pushing food around her plate, "I've been thinking about the money." "Okay. I think it should be in my name." I looked up from my plate. "What?" "The money. I think we should put it in an account under my name. For tax purposes, for legal purposes. It's just smarter that way." "Patricia, it's my ticket. I bought it. It's in my name." Her face flushed red. "Oh, so now it's your money? After 32 years of marriage, suddenly everything is yours?" "That's not what I'm saying. I've stood by you for 32 years, Frank. 32 years of struggling, of being humiliated, of watching my friends live in nice houses while I'm stuck in this dump. And now you're going to hold this money over my head?" "I'm not holding anything over anyone's head. I just think we should be smart about this. Talk to a financial advisor, like I said." "You don't trust me," she said flatly. "That's what this is about. You think I'm going to take the money and leave you?" I didn't say that. "You didn't have to." She stood up, her chair scraping loudly against the floor. "You know what? Fine. Keep your precious money. But don't expect me to stick around and watch you waste it on your stupid hardware store job and your pathetic little life." She stormed out. I sat there alone at the table, the pot roast going cold, wondering how $4 million had turned my wife into a stranger. But the worst was yet to come. 2 days later, Michael showed up at the house. Unannounced. He never did that. I was in the garage organizing tools, one of the few peaceful activities I had left. He walked in like he owned the place, hands in his pockets, that familiar look of disappointment on his face. "Hey, Dad." "Michael, didn't know you were coming by." "Mom called me. Said you won the lottery. $4 million. That true?" I set down the hammer I'd been holding. "It's true." He nodded slowly. That's great, Dad. Really great. You deserve it." Something in his tone didn't match his words. I'd heard that tone before, the same one he used when he wanted to borrow money for his first apartment, for his car down payment, for his wedding. "What do you want, Michael?" He looked genuinely hurt. "What do you mean? I'm here to congratulate you." "You're here because your mother sent you, so what does she want?" His face hardened, and for a second, he looked exactly like Patricia. "She's worried about you, Dad. We all are." "Worried about what?" "About your mental state. You're 65 years old. You've been through a lot. The war, the injury, the financial stress. Mom says you've been acting strange lately, paranoid, forgetful." I felt something cold settle in my chest. I'm not paranoid, and my memory is fine. "Dad, you're not getting any younger. $4 million is a lot of money, a lot of responsibility." Mom just thinks it might be better if someone else handled the financial decisions. Someone younger. Someone like you? He had the decency to look away. I'm just trying to help. I don't need help, Michael. And I especially don't need my own son questioning my mental fitness. Nobody's questioning anything. We're just concerned. Get out. Dad, get out of my house. Now. He left. But his visit planted a seed of fear that grew and grew over the following weeks. Because if Patricia had sent Michael to soften me up, to plant the idea that I was mentally unfit, that meant she was planning something. Something I couldn't quite see yet, but I was about to find out. The twins showed up the next week, together. Jennifer and Amanda, standing on my doorstep with store-bought cookies and fake smiles. "Hi, Daddy," Jennifer said, hugging me like we were close. We weren't close. She'd called me exactly twice in the past 3 years, both times to ask me to babysit her kids while she went on vacation. I'd said yes both times. She'd never said thank you. "We heard the amazing news," Amanda gushed. "We wanted to come celebrate with you." They came inside, sat on my couch, made small talk about their lives. Amanda talked about her new BMW. Jennifer talked about her son's private school. They asked about my leg, about my job, about whether I was taking care of myself. All of it felt wrong, rehearsed, like they were checking boxes on a script someone had given them. Then Jennifer leaned forward, her face arranged in an expression of concern. "Daddy, we've been talking to Mom. She's really worried about you." "So I've heard. We think it might be good for you to see someone, a doctor, just to make sure everything's okay. With your memory, your decision-making." There it was again, the same script Michael had used. "There's nothing wrong with my memory or my decision-making," I said calmly. Amanda reached over and patted my hand. "We know, Daddy, we know. But sometimes at your age, things can start to slip without you realizing it. And with all this money, well, we just want to make sure you're protected, that nobody takes advantage of you." The irony was almost funny. They were trying to take advantage of me while warning me about other people doing the same thing. "I appreciate your concern," I said, standing up. "But I'm fine, really. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have things to do." They left, but not before Jennifer hugged me again and whispered, "We love you, Daddy. We're just trying to help." After they were gone, I sat down on the couch and stared at the wall for a long time. My family was circling like vultures, all of them, working together, and I had no idea how to stop them. I found the documents 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. Patricia had gone to the grocery store. I was looking for a checkbook in her desk. She kept all our financial paperwork in there. When I saw a manila folder I didn't recognize. I should have left it alone, but something told me to look. Inside were printouts, articles about declaring someone mentally incompetent, Pennsylvania law regarding power of attorney, forms for emergency guardianship. There was a handwritten note clipped to one of the articles, Patricia's handwriting. "Dr. Silverman, appointment November 18th. Bring documentation. Need evaluation letter by Thanksgiving." Underneath that was another note, this one in Michael's handwriting. "Mom, talk to lawyer friend. Best approach is documented pattern of erratic behavior. Get Dad on medication if possible. Psych eval plus medication history equals strong case." My hands were shaking so hard I nearly dropped the papers. They were planning to have me declared mentally incompetent. They were going to take control of the money, all of it. And they were planning to drug me to make it happen. I put the papers back exactly as I'd found them, closed the folder, closed the drawer. When Patricia came home 20 minutes later with groceries, I helped her unload the car like nothing had happened. But everything had changed. I knew what they were planning, and now I had to figure out how to stop them. I called Tommy Breslin the next day. Tommy and I served together in Desert Storm. He took the hit that probably should have killed me, lost his right arm below the elbow, got a medical discharge, came home to Pennsylvania, same as me. We'd stayed in touch over the years. Not close, but friendly. The kind of friendship where you check in every few months, grab coffee once or twice a year. Tommy's daughter, Rachel, was a lawyer. Family law, estate planning, stuff like that. I'd met her a few times at Tommy's barbecues. Smart woman, kind eyes. "Frank Morrison," Tommy said when he answered. "It's been a while. How's the leg?" "Same as always. Listen, Tommy, I need to ask you something. Is Rachel still practicing law?" "She is. Got her own practice now, actually. Why? You in some kind of trouble?" "I think I might be." We met at a diner off Route 22. Rachel was there when I arrived, sitting in a corner booth with a cup of coffee and a yellow legal pad. She was in her early 40s, dark hair pulled back, professional but not cold. "Mr. Morrison," she said, shaking my hand, "Dad tells me you might need some help." I told her everything. The lottery, Patricia's behavior, Michael's visit, the twins' fake concern, the documents I'd found in Patricia's desk. She took notes the whole time, her expression neutral but focused. When I finished, she set down her pen and looked at me directly. "Mr. Morrison, what you're describing is financial abuse, possibly fraud, possibly conspiracy. These are serious crimes." "I don't want to send my family to jail," I said quickly. "I just want to protect myself." "I understand, but you need to understand something. If they go through with this plan, if they get you declared incompetent and take control of your assets, it will be very difficult to undo. You need to act now." "What should I do?" She thought for a moment. "First, we need to establish a clear record that you are mentally competent and aware of what's happening. I'm going to take a written statement from you, detailing everything you've told me. We'll have it notarized. That statement will explicitly state that you believe your family poses a threat to your financial well-being, and that any future claims of incompetence are likely fraudulent. Will that be enough?" "It's a start, but you should also consider moving your money somewhere they can't access, opening a new account in your name only, changing your will, and—" She hesitated. "You might want to consider filing a police report." "I can't do that. They're still my family." "Mr. Morrison, they're planning to drug you, to have you declared insane, to steal $4 million from you. At what point do they stop being family and start being criminals?" I didn't have an answer for that. We spent the next hour going over everything in detail. Rachel typed up a statement. I signed it. We got it notarized at a bank down the street. The statement was clear. My family was threatening me. I was of sound mind, and any future claims to the contrary should be investigated thoroughly. "This might not stop them," Rachel warned me. "But if something happens to you, this statement will raise red flags. It'll make their lives very, very difficult." "Thank you," I said. "I don't know what I would have done without this." "Don't thank me yet. We still have to figure out what their next move is." I found out sooner than expected. The invitation came 3 days before Thanksgiving. A text message from Patricia. "Family dinner, Christmas Eve, 7 p.m., Riverside Steakhouse, the private room. Don't make plans." Not a request, an order. I knew immediately that something was wrong. My family never did Christmas together, never. Michael always went to his in-laws. Jennifer and Amanda took their families on ski trips or beach vacations. Patricia and I usually spent Christmas alone, eating grocery store ham in front of the TV. But now, suddenly, everyone wanted to celebrate together? At an expensive restaurant in a private room? This was the trap. This was where it would happen. I called Rachel immediately. "They're planning something," I told her. "Christmas Eve, Riverside Steakhouse. They've reserved a private room." "Why would they do that?" "I think they want to create a record, photos, evidence that we're a close, happy family, that they care about me. That way, when they make their move, when they try to have me declared incompetent, they can show a judge that they've been involved, concerned, loving. It gives them credibility." Rachel was quiet for a moment. "That's actually pretty smart. Diabolical, but smart. If they have documentation showing they're caring family members, it makes their claims of concern more believable. And if something happens to you after that dinner, it looks like they tried to help me, but I was too far gone." "Exactly. Mr. Morrison, you cannot go to that dinner." "I have to. If I don't show up, they'll know something's wrong. They'll move faster. Then we need to be ready. And we need to find out exactly what they're planning." That's when I got an unexpected call. The call came from a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. "Is this Frank Morrison?" A young woman's voice, nervous. "Yes, who's this?" "My name is Sophie Chen. I'm a server at Riverside Steakhouse. I need to talk to you. It's about your wife." My blood went cold. "What about her?" "Not over the phone. Can you meet me? Today?" We met at a coffee shop in the next town over, far enough from Riverside that nobody would recognize us. Sophie was in her mid-20s, Asian American, with dark circles under her eyes like she hadn't slept in days. "Thank you for meeting me," she said, stirring her coffee nervously. "I almost didn't call, but I couldn't let this happen." "Let what happen?" She took a deep breath. "Your wife came into the restaurant last week. She reserved the private dining room for Christmas Eve. 20 people, she said. Big family celebration. She paid a deposit, ordered the menu in advance, the whole thing." "Okay." "Then she came back, 2 days ago, alone. She asked to speak to me specifically because I'm the server assigned to that room that night." Sophie's hands were shaking. "She offered me $5,000. My chest tightened. "For what?" "To put something in your drink." The world seemed to tilt sideways. I gripped the edge of the table. Sophie kept talking, words tumbling out fast. "She gave me a small bottle, clear liquid. Said it was just something to help you relax, to make you tired. She said you had anxiety, that you'd been stressed about the holidays, and she wanted you to have a peaceful evening. She said it was prescribed by your doctor, but you wouldn't take it voluntarily, so she needed help getting it into your system." "What is it, really?" "I don't know. She wouldn't tell me. But Mr. Morrison..." Sophie looked at me with tears in her eyes. "I've worked in restaurants for 7 years. I've seen a lot of things. And I've never had someone offer me $5,000 to secretly drug their husband. That's not anxiety medication. That's something much worse." "Did you take the bottle?" "No. I told her I'd think about it. She said she'd give me half the money up front if I agreed. I told her I needed a day to decide." Sophie wiped her eyes. "I went home and I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about my own grandfather. He's your age. If someone tried to do this to him..." I started researching. Lotteries, your name, and I found an article about you winning $4 million. "So you put it together." "It wasn't hard. Your wife wants to drug you at a family dinner on Christmas Eve, right after you came into a lot of money. She's paying $5,000 for me to do it, which means whatever she's planning to gain is worth a lot more than that." Sophie leaned forward. "Mr. Morrison, I think she's trying to kill you, or at least hurt you badly enough that she can claim you're incompetent." I'd suspected as much, but hearing it out loud made it real in a way I wasn't prepared for. "Did she say anything else?" I asked. "She mentioned your son. Said he'd be at the dinner, that he was on board with helping Dad feel more comfortable. Those were her exact words, on board, like it was a plan they'd discussed." "Michael. Of course Michael was involved." "There's something else," Sophie said. "She told me the timing was important. She said I needed to put it in your drink exactly at 8:30 p.m. Not before, not after. 8:30 specifically." "Why would the timing matter?" "I don't know. But if she's that specific about it, there must be a reason." I thought about it. If they wanted to drug me and have me act erratically in public, they'd want witnesses, other diners, staff, people who could later testify that Frank Morrison seemed confused, disoriented, mentally unstable at a family Christmas dinner. But they'd also want to control when it happened, which meant something else was scheduled for after 8:30. "Did she mention anything else? Anything about after the dinner?" Sophie shook her head. "No, just that it was important everything went smoothly. She said the whole family was counting on me." "The whole family, not just Patricia, all of them." "Sophie, I need you to do something for me. Call my wife back. Tell her you'll do it. Take the money, take the bottle, but don't use it. Bring it to the police and tell them everything you told me." "I already planned to. But Mr. Morrison, you need to stay away from that restaurant. Don't go to that dinner." "I have to go. If I don't show up, they'll know something went wrong. They'll find another way." "Then what are you going to do?" "I don't know yet. But thank you, Sophie. You might have just saved my life. She gave me her number, made me promise to call her if I needed anything. As I watched her walk out of that coffee shop, I thought about how strange it was that a young woman I'd never met cared more about my safety than my own wife did. I called Rachel immediately and told her everything. Jesus Christ, she breathed. They're actually trying to poison you. We don't know that it's poison. Could be sedatives, could be… Frank, it doesn't matter what it is. They're conspiring to drug you without your consent in order to steal your money. That's attempted assault at minimum, possibly attempted murder. You need to go to the police, now. And tell them what? That a server told me my wife tried to hire her to drug me? We have no physical evidence. Patricia will deny everything. The server could be lying, they'll say. It's hearsay. The server can testify, and my wife will hire a better lawyer and make her look like she's making it up for attention. Or money. Rachel, I've watched enough crime shows to know how this works. Without hard evidence, it's just my word against hers. Rachel was quiet for a long moment. So what do you want to do? I want to catch them in the act. That's dangerous, Frank. It's the only way. If Sophie puts the drug in my drink and I pretend to drink it, if I act like it's affecting me, they'll think their plan is working. They'll show their hand. And if we have cameras recording the whole thing, you want to set them up. I want them to set themselves up. I'll just provide the rope. Frank, if you're serious about this, we need to involve law enforcement, real law enforcement, not just security cameras. Can we do that? Without them finding out? Let me make some calls. I have a friend who works with the FBI field office in Pittsburgh. White-collar crime, fraud, conspiracy. This might be in their jurisdiction, especially if we can prove your family is conspiring to commit financial fraud. The FBI? The idea seemed absurd. My wife and kids, under FBI investigation? But then again, they were planning to drug me and steal $4 million. Maybe it wasn't so absurd after all. Make the call, I said. Agent Sarah Yates met us at Rachel's office 2 days later. She was in her early 50s, sharp-eyed, with the kind of no-nonsense demeanor that made you believe she'd seen everything twice. Rachel had briefed her on the phone, but she wanted to hear it from me directly. I walked her through everything again. The lottery, Patricia's behavior, the documents, Sophie's call, the planned Christmas Eve dinner. When I finished, Agent Yates sat back in her chair and studied me. Mr. Morrison, I'm going to be straight with you. Cases like this are difficult to prosecute. Family members drugging each other, financial manipulation within marriages. It's messy. It's emotional. Juries don't like it. Defense attorneys tear apart the victims on the stand. Are you prepared for that? I don't want them prosecuted, I said. I just want them to stop. If we catch them attempting to drug you, they will be prosecuted. That's not negotiable. Conspiracy to commit assault, possibly attempted murder depending on what's in that bottle. Your wife, your son, possibly your daughters, they'll all face charges. Even if I don't press charges, the state presses charges in criminal cases, not victims. You can refuse to cooperate, but if we have evidence, we move forward regardless. I thought about Patricia, about Michael, Jennifer, Amanda, about Christmases past, birthdays, graduations, about the people they used to be before money turned them into strangers. What if there was a way to stop them without sending them to prison? Agent Yates exchanged a glance with Rachel. Mr. Morrison, these people are planning to drug you, possibly kill you. You understand that, right? I understand, but they're still my family. They stopped being your family the moment they decided you were worth more dead than alive. She wasn't wrong. But I'd spent 32 years with Patricia. I'd watched my kids grow up. I'd held them as babies, taught them to ride bikes, walked my daughters down the aisle. You don't just erase that because of money. Or maybe you do. Maybe that's exactly what they'd done to me. If we do this, Agent Yates continued, here's how it works. We wire the restaurant, multiple cameras, audio recording. We have Sophie cooperate. She'll accept your wife's offer, take the bottle, give it to us for analysis. On Christmas Eve, Sophie will pretend to put the drug in your drink, but she won't. You'll pretend to be affected. Your family will reveal their plan, thinking you're incapacitated. We record everything. Then we move in and make arrests. What happens to Sophie? Nothing. She came to us voluntarily. She's a witness, not a co-conspirator. And what about the money they already gave her? She hasn't taken any money yet. She told them she needed time to think. We'll have her accepted as evidence. I looked at Rachel. She nodded. It's your decision, Frank. But Agent Yates is right. This might be your only chance to protect yourself. If I do this, if we record them, and they say things, plan things, will that be enough to keep me safe, even if they don't go to prison? If we have evidence of conspiracy to commit fraud and assault, we can use it to obtain restraining orders, freeze assets, prevent them from making legal claims against you. At minimum, it destroys their credibility. No judge will grant them power of attorney or guardianship after hearing recordings of them planning to drug you. That was what I wanted. Not revenge, just safety, just proof that I wasn't crazy, wasn't incompetent, wasn't the problem. Okay, I said, let's do it. The next 2 weeks were the longest of my life. Sophie met with Agent Yates and gave her statement. She agreed to cooperate fully. She called Patricia back and told her she'd do it. Put the drug in my drink, make sure I consumed it, keep quiet about the whole thing. Patricia was thrilled. She gave Sophie $2,500 in cash up front, promised the rest after Christmas. She also gave her the bottle, a small amber vial with no label. The FBI had it analyzed within 48 hours. Agent Yates called me with the results. It's a benzodiazepine, high dose. Mixed with alcohol, it would cause severe disorientation, memory loss, possible respiratory depression. In someone your age with your medical history, it could be fatal. But it's not technically poison. No, which is smart on their part. If you died, it would look like an accidental overdose. Old man, stressed about money, takes too many pills, has a few drinks, heart gives out. Nobody asks questions. So they were trying to kill me. They were creating a situation where you might die, yes. And if you didn't die, you'd be so impaired that they could claim you were mentally incompetent. Either way, they win. I felt numb. My wife of 32 years had handed a stranger a bottle of drugs that could kill me, and she'd paid for the privilege. Mr. Morrison, you still with me? Yeah, I'm here. We're going to put this away, all of them. I promise you that. I don't want them put away. I just want them to leave me alone. That's not how this works anymore. They crossed a line, a big one. I knew she was right, but it didn't make it any easier. Christmas Eve arrived cold and clear. Snow had fallen the night before, covering Riverside in a postcard-perfect white blanket. Under different circumstances, it would have been beautiful. I got dressed slowly that morning, pressed khakis, a button-down shirt, my only sport coat, which I hadn't worn in 5 years. I wanted to look nice, presentable, the kind of father a family would be proud to have dinner with, even if that family wanted me dead. Rachel called at noon to go over the plan one more time. The restaurant is wired, 6 cameras in the private dining room, 2 in the hallway outside, 1 at the bar, all recording to a secure server. FBI agents will be positioned in the restaurant, some as diners, some as staff. Agent Yates will be in a van outside monitoring everything in real time. What do I do? Act normal. Be yourself. When Sophie brings your drink, pretend to sip it throughout the evening. Around 8:45, start acting like you're feeling off, confused, tired, slurring your words slightly. Let them think it's working. And then? Then you listen. Let them talk. Let them plan. Let them say things they think you won't remember. And when we have enough, Agent Yates will give the signal, and agents will enter the room. What's the signal? You'll know it when you see it. Rachel, what if something goes wrong? Frank, you have the full resources of the FBI protecting you tonight. Nothing will go wrong. But if you feel unsafe at any point, if you want to abort, just say the word hardware. Loudly. That's the safe word. Say it and agents will move in immediately. Hardware. Got it. Frank, be careful. These people have already shown they're capable of terrible things. Don't underestimate them. I won't. But as I drove to Riverside Steakhouse that evening, watching the Christmas lights blur past my window, I realized I'd been underestimating them for years. I'd thought Patricia was just unhappy. I'd thought Michael was just busy. I'd thought the twins were just shallow. I never imagined they'd try to kill me. The Riverside Steakhouse was packed. Christmas Eve was always busy. Families celebrating before the holiday, couples on dates, groups of friends gathering. The parking lot was full. I had to park in the back. As I walked toward the entrance, I saw Agent Yates' van parked across the street. Dark windows, nondescript. I wondered if she was watching me right now. Inside, the restaurant was warm and loud with conversation and laughter. A hostess I didn't recognize smiled at me. "Welcome to Riverside Steakhouse. Do you have a reservation?" "Morrison party, private dining room." "Of course, right this way." She led me through the main dining area, past tables of happy families, toward the back of the restaurant. The private dining room was behind a set of double doors with frosted glass windows. She opened the door. "Your party is waiting for you, Mr. Morrison. Enjoy your evening." I stepped inside. They were all there, every single one of them. Patricia sat at the head of a long table, wearing a new dress I'd never seen before. Elegant, expensive, red. She looked beautiful. She was smiling. Michael sat to her right, his wife Denise next to him. Jennifer and Amanda were across from them with their husbands. Even the grandkids were there, 5 of them, ranging from age 4 to 12, coloring on paper placemats. It looked like a Norman Rockwell painting. The perfect American family Christmas. Patricia stood up when she saw me, her smile widening. "Frank, there you are. We were starting to worry." She walked over and hugged me. Actually hugged me. I couldn't remember the last time she'd done that. "Come sit down," she said, taking my arm. "We saved you a seat right here at the head of the table." The seat of honor, right where everyone could see me, right where the cameras could capture everything. Michael stood and shook my hand. "Good to see you, Dad. Merry Christmas." "Merry Christmas, son." Jennifer and Amanda came over next, kissing my cheeks, telling me how great I looked, how happy they were to spend the holiday together as a family. It was all so normal, so perfect, so fake. I sat down at the head of the table. Patricia sat to my right, Michael to my left. Everyone else filled in around us. A server entered, Sophie. She looked at me for just a fraction of a second, her expression neutral. Then she smiled at the table. "Good evening, everyone. My name is Sophie, and I'll be taking care of you tonight. Can I start everyone off with drinks?" Patricia ordered wine. Michael ordered scotch. The twins ordered cocktails. I ordered what I always ordered. "Coke, please. No ice." Sophie nodded. "1 Coke, no ice. I'll be right back with those." She left. The room filled with conversation. The grandkids showed me their coloring. Jennifer talked about her son's hockey team. Michael discussed his new promotion. Everyone was so animated, so engaged. Like we did this all the time. Like we were a close family who loved spending time together. I played along, smiled, laughed at appropriate moments, asked questions about their lives, and I waited. Sophie returned with the drinks. She placed them carefully on the table, wine for Patricia, scotch for Michael, cocktails for the twins, and a Coke for me. I watched her set it down, watched her hand shake just slightly. This was it. This was the glass. Except it wasn't, because Sophie was on our side. The drink was clean, but my family didn't know that. I picked up the glass and took a small sip. Sweet, cold, normal. Everyone watched me, just for a second, then looked away. They were waiting for it to kick in, and so was I, but for very different reasons. Dinner began at 7:30. The appetizers came first: shrimp cocktail, stuffed mushrooms, calamari. Everyone ate and talked and laughed. I participated just enough to seem present, but not so much that I'd seem too alert. I kept the Coke glass in front of me, took small sips every few minutes. Each time I did, I noticed Patricia glancing at her watch, Michael checking his phone, the twins exchanging looks. They were tracking time, waiting for 8:30. At 8:15, the main courses arrived. Steak for most of us, salmon for Jennifer, chicken for the kids. The food was excellent. Riverside Steakhouse didn't cut corners. Under different circumstances, I would have enjoyed it, but I could barely taste anything. My heart was pounding. My palms were sweating. 8:25. Patricia caught Michael's eye. He nodded slightly. 8:28. Amanda whispered something to Jennifer. They both looked at me. 8:30. I took another sip of Coke, set the glass down, blinked slowly like I was trying to focus. "Dad?" Michael's voice, concerned. "You okay?" I looked at him, let my eyes go a little unfocused. Yeah, I'm fine, just tired." "You look pale," Patricia said. She reached over and touched my forehead. "Are you feeling all right?" "I'm okay, just, it's warm in here, isn't it?" "Maybe you should have some water," Jennifer suggested. No, I'm fine." I picked up my fork, fumbled it slightly, let it clatter against the plate. "Sorry, Butterfingers tonight." I saw Patricia and Michael exchange a look. A small smile played at the corner of Patricia's mouth. It was working. They thought I was being affected by the drug that wasn't in my system. "Frank, maybe you should step outside for some air," Patricia said. Her voice was so sweet, so caring. "You don't look well." "I'm fine," I repeated. I took another bite of steak, chewed slowly. What were we talking about?" "We were talking about Jennifer's son's hockey team," Amanda said. Right, hockey, that's good." I rubbed my forehead. "Sorry, my head's a little fuzzy tonight." "It's okay, Dad," Michael said. "You've been working hard, you're probably just tired." "Yeah, tired." I let my head droop slightly, then jerked it back up. "Sorry, what was the question?" "There was no question, Frank," Patricia said. She was watching me closely now. "Are you sure you're all right?" I think maybe I need to use the restroom." I stood up slowly, deliberately unsteady, grabbed the edge of the table to balance myself. Michael jumped up to help me. "Here, Dad, let me help you." "I'm fine, I can manage." I took a few steps, swayed slightly. "Just need a minute." I walked toward the bathroom, making sure to seem confused, disoriented. Once inside, I splashed cold water on my face and looked at myself in the mirror. This was it. This was where they'd start talking, planning, saying things they thought I wouldn't remember. I dried my face, waited exactly 3 minutes, then headed back. As I approached the dining room doors, I heard voices inside. I paused, hand on the door handle. Definitely working. Look at him. He can barely walk straight. Michael's voice. I pushed the door open slowly, stumbled slightly as I entered. Everyone looked up. The conversation stopped abruptly. "Frank, come sit down." Patricia guided me back to my chair. "You really don't look well." "I'm okay, just dizzy." The kids were being ushered away now. Jennifer's husband was taking all 5 grandchildren to the arcade area near the front of the restaurant. "Let Grandpa rest," I heard Jennifer tell them. Once the kids were gone, the atmosphere in the room changed, became heavier, more focused. I let my head droop forward, closed my eyes, breathed deeply like I was trying to stay conscious. "Frank?" Patricia's voice. "Frank, can you hear me?" Yeah, hear you." "How are you feeling?" "Tired, really tired." "That's okay, just rest, we're right here." I let a few minutes pass, kept my eyes closed, let my breathing become slow and regular. Then Patricia spoke again. Her voice was different now, colder, more businesslike. "Is he out?" "Almost," Michael's voice. "Give it a few more minutes." "We don't have a few more minutes, we need to do this now." "Mom, relax, we stick to the plan." I kept my breathing steady, didn't move, didn't react. "Frank?" Patricia said loudly. "Frank, can you hear me?" I didn't respond. "Frank?" Louder. She shook my shoulder. "Frank!" Nothing. "Okay," she said. "He's out. Michael, get the papers." I heard rustling, papers being pulled from a bag. Are you sure about this? Amanda's voice, nervous. It's now or never, Patricia said. We've been planning this for 2 months. Everything is in place. What if someone sees? Jennifer asked. Nobody's going to see. The staff knows not to disturb us. We have the room until 10. That gives us plenty of time. Mom, even if we get him to sign these, won't people question it later? I mean, look at him. He's clearly not in his right mind. That's the point, Michael. That's exactly the point. We have witnesses. Sophie saw him acting strange all evening. The other servers will testify he seemed disoriented. We have photos from tonight showing us all together, a loving family trying to help him. And when we take him to Dr. Silverman tomorrow for evaluation, Dr. Silverman will confirm what we already know. Frank is mentally declining. He needs help managing his affairs. And the power of attorney? Once he signs it tonight, I have full control. We transfer the money to accounts he can't access, set up the trust like we discussed. By the time he realizes what happened, if he even remembers any of this, it'll be too late. Everything will be legal. Binding. My heart was racing, but I kept my face slack, my breathing even. What about his lawyer friend? Amanda asked. That guy's daughter, Rachel something. What if he already talked to her? I thought about that, Patricia said. That's why we're doing this tonight, before he can make any other moves. Once I have power of attorney, I can revoke any agreements he made, fire any lawyers he hired. He'll have no recourse. Jesus, Mom. This is really happening. Jennifer's voice shook. Did you want to keep living off your trust fund crumbs while your father sits on $4 million? Did you want to watch him wasted on his pathetic little hardware store life? This money should have been ours years ago. He got lucky once in his life, once, and now we're supposed to let him control it? A man who can barely pay his own bills? The venom in her voice was stunning. This wasn't a woman who'd fallen out of love. This was pure hatred. So what do we do? Michael asked. We get his signature, right now, while he's still compliant. Michael, you hold his hand steady. I'll guide the pen. We'll do the power of attorney first, then the trust documents. Jennifer, Amanda, you two are witnesses. Sign where I marked. Mom, this feels wrong, Amanda started. $500,000, Amanda. That's your share once this is done. $500,000. Is that wrong? Or does it feel pretty damn right? Silence. That's what I thought. Now get over here and sign. I heard movement. Someone grabbed my right hand. Fingers wrapped around mine. A pen was pressed into my palm. Okay, Frank. Patricia's voice was right next to my ear. Just need you to sign a few things. Nice and easy. My hand was being moved, guided across paper. The pen scratched. They were forging my signature. Right there. Right in front of witnesses. Good. Next page. Again, my hand moved. Another signature. Perfect. Now the trust documents. 3 signatures. Let's go. I felt rage building inside me. White-hot fury. These people, my wife, my children, were stealing from me while I sat there unconscious. Or so they thought. It took everything I had to stay still, to keep playing dead. But I could feel the weight of the FBI watching through cameras, recording everything, every word, every action. Just a little longer. Just let them finish. Done, Patricia said finally. I heard papers being shuffled. It's done. It's actually done. So that's it? Jennifer asked. We're rich? We were always supposed to be rich, Patricia said. Your father just got in the way, but not anymore. As of right now, he has no control over that money. I do. And tomorrow, when we take him to Dr. Silverman, he'll be officially declared mentally incompetent. By New Year's, this will all be finalized. What if he fights it? Michael asked. He won't. He can't. He has no proof of anything. No witnesses. No evidence. And even if he claims we drugged him, who's going to believe him? A confused old man making wild accusations against his loving family? Please. Sophie will back us up, Amanda said. She saw everything. Sophie will say whatever we pay her to say, Patricia replied. And she's already been paid. Trust me, she's not going to risk her job or potential charges for a stranger. I felt sick. They'd thought of everything, every angle, every contingency. Except for one thing. Sophie wasn't on their side. She was on mine. And every word they'd just said was recorded. "So what do we do with him now?" Michael asked. "We wait for him to wake up. Should be another hour or so. When he does, he'll be groggy, confused. We'll help him to the car, take him home, put him to bed. Tomorrow morning, we'll tell him he got sick at dinner, that we took care of him. We'll show him the photos from tonight, all of us smiling, celebrating Christmas together. He'll see how much we love him." "And he won't remember any of this?" "The drug causes memory loss. He might have fragments, but nothing concrete, nothing he can prove. He'll doubt himself. That's what happens with these medications. People second-guess their own perceptions. It's perfect." There was satisfaction in her voice, pride even. She'd planned this so carefully, so thoroughly, and she was about to watch it all fall apart. I waited another minute, let them relax, let them think they'd won. Then I opened my eyes. "Actually," I said clearly, my voice strong and steady, "I remember everything." The room went silent, absolutely silent. Patricia's face drained of color. Michael stood frozen, papers still in his hands. Jennifer and Amanda looked like they'd seen a ghost. "Frank," Patricia started. "I remember you trying to have me declared incompetent," I continued, sitting up straight. "I remember the documents you hid in your desk. I remember Michael coming to question my mental fitness. I remember the twins suddenly pretending to care about me after years of nothing." "Dad, you're confused," Michael tried. "I remember Sophie calling me to tell me you offered her $5,000 to drug me. I remember the FBI analyzing the bottle you gave her. Benzodiazepines, by the way. High dose. Could have killed me." Patricia's mouth opened and closed. No sound came out. "I remember," I said, standing up now, completely steady, "every single word you just said. About stealing my money, about forging my signature, about making sure I couldn't fight back." I pulled out my phone, held it up. And so do they. On cue, the dining room doors opened. Agent Sarah Yates entered, followed by 4 other FBI agents in tactical gear. Behind them, 2 Pennsylvania State Police officers. "Patricia Morrison, Michael Morrison, Jennifer Hartley, Amanda Chen," Agent Yates said, her voice calm and professional. "You're under arrest for conspiracy to commit fraud, conspiracy to commit assault, forgery, and attempted financial exploitation of an elderly person." The room exploded into chaos. Patricia lunged at me. "You son of a bitch, that's my money. My money." 2 agents grabbed her, pulled her back. She was screaming now, really screaming. 32 years. I gave you 32 years of my life. You owe me." Michael was backing toward the wall, hands up. "Dad, please, we can work this out. We're family." "You stopped being my family the moment you decided I was worth more to you incapacitated than conscious," I said quietly. Jennifer was crying. "Daddy, please, we didn't mean it. We were just trying to help." "By drugging me? By forging my signature? That's help?" Amanda said nothing, just stared at the floor as an agent read her rights. The handcuffs came out. One by one, they were cuffed. Patricia was still screaming as they let her out. Michael was pale, shaking. The twins were crying. I watched them go. My wife of 32 years, my 3 children. And I felt nothing. No, that wasn't true. I felt relieved. Agent Yates stayed behind after the others had been escorted out. "We got everything," she said. "Clear recordings, visual evidence of the forgery, verbal confessions. This is one of the most airtight conspiracy cases I've ever worked. They're going away for a long time, Mr. Morrison." "How long?" "Conspiracy to commit fraud against an elderly person, forgery, attempted assault with intent to incapacitate. We're looking at 10 to 15 years, maybe more if the prosecutor really pushes." 10 to 15 years. Patricia would be in her 80s when she got out. Michael would be in his 50s. The twins would miss their children growing up. "Mr. Morrison?" Agent Yates was watching me carefully. "Are you all right?" "I don't know," I said honestly. "I think I will be, eventually." "For what it's worth, you did the right thing. These people were dangerous. They would have destroyed you." "They already did, just not in the way they planned." She nodded. "We'll need you to come to the field office tomorrow to give a full statement. Rachel Breslin is already working on restraining orders and emergency injunctions to protect your assets. Nobody's touching that money now. Thank you. Don't thank me. Thank Sophie Chen. She's the one who started this. Without her, you might not be here right now. Sophie, the young server who'd risked everything to save a stranger. Is she here? I'd like to thank her. She's giving her statement in the other room. But yes, I'm sure she'd appreciate that. I found Sophie in a small office near the kitchen, talking to another agent. When she saw me, she stood up quickly. Mr. Morrison, are you okay? I walked over and hugged her. Just hugged her like she was one of my own kids. She stiffened for a moment, then hugged me back. Thank you, I whispered. You saved my life. I just did what anyone would do. No, most people would have taken the money and looked the other way. You didn't. You called me. You warned me. You testified against them. You're a hero, Sophie. She was crying now. I kept thinking about my grandfather, about what if someone did this to him. I couldn't just let it happen. Your grandfather is lucky to have you, and so am I. We talked for a few more minutes. I found out she was putting herself through nursing school, working double shifts at the restaurant to pay tuition. She had 1 more year to go. How much is your tuition? I asked. Oh, I couldn't. Mr. Morrison, I didn't do this for money. I know you didn't. That's exactly why I'm asking. How much? She told me. It wasn't a huge amount, maybe $30,000 for the year. Consider it paid, I said. All of it. And you're going to finish that degree without working double shifts anymore. Understood? Mr. Morrison, that's too much. Sophie, you saved my life. $30,000 is nothing compared to that. Please, let me do this. She cried harder. Thank you. Thank you so much. I left the restaurant around midnight. The parking lot was nearly empty now. Most of the other diners had gone home. Christmas Eve was over. I sat in my car for a long time, engine running, heater blasting. Snow was falling again. Light flurries that caught in the streetlights. My phone buzzed. A text from Rachel. Heard everything went according to plan. Are you safe? Do you need anything? I typed back. I'm safe. Thank you for everything. Another buzz. They can't hurt you anymore, Frank. You're free. Free. Was I free? My wife was in jail. My kids were in jail. My family, such as it was, had been destroyed. I had $4 million and nobody to share it with. Nobody who loved me for who I was, not what I had. But then again, maybe I never did. Maybe I'd been alone all along, just too afraid to admit it. I drove home slowly through the snow. The little ranch house on Riverside looked the same as always, small, worn. The roof still leaked, the furnace still coughed. But it was mine, really mine. Nobody could take it from me now. Epilogue. 6 months later, I stood in Tommy Breslin's backyard at his annual summer barbecue. Rachel was there with her kids. Sophie came too. She'd become a good friend over the past months. She was doing great in school, already had a job lined up at a hospital for after graduation. Patricia, Michael, Jennifer, and Amanda had all taken plea deals, reduced sentences in exchange for guilty pleas, 5 years each. They'd be out eventually, but they'd have felony records, and they'd never get a penny of my money. I'd moved it all into a trust managed by Rachel. Most of it would go to charity when I died. Veterans organizations, homeless shelters, scholarships for kids like Sophie. I kept enough to live comfortably. Fixed the roof, replaced the furnace, bought a newer car. But I still worked at Henderson's Hardware. I liked the routine, liked feeling useful. You look good, Frank, Tommy said, handing me a beer. Happy. I am happy. Mostly. Still think about them? Every day, but it gets easier. They made their choice. They did, and so did I. A choice to protect myself, to value my own life over their greed, to accept that blood doesn't always mean family, and family doesn't always mean love. Patricia had been right about one thing. I wasn't a rich father. I wasn't successful. I wasn't the kind of dad anyone brags about. But I was alive. I was free. And I was learning, slowly, to be enough. Just Frank Morrison, wounded veteran, hardware store employee, lottery winner, survivor. And maybe, just maybe, that was more than enough.